After 88 years, the mystery of Amelia Earhart's disappearance may finally be solved. A remote lagoon on Nikumaroro Island holds an object matching her Lockheed Electra. Decades of speculation, search expeditions, and unanswered questions could be coming to an end. History is on the verge of uncovering one of aviation's greatest enigmas, the disappearance that haunted history. On July 2, 1937, Amelia Earhart and her navigator Fred Noonan took off in their Lockheed Model 10 Electra, aiming to circumnavigate the globe. Their next destination was Howland Island, a tiny, remote strip of land in the Pacific Ocean, barely visible even under ideal flying conditions. It was supposed to be a quick stop for refueling, but they never made it. Radio messages grew panicked and garbled. Their location uncertain, the Electra vanished somewhere over the ocean. What followed was one of the most extensive search operations in history. Ships and planes swept vast swaths of the Pacific. No trace was found, not the aircraft, not the pilots, not even debris. Over the next 8 decades, Earhart's disappearance would become one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. Was it a crash at sea? A forced landing on a deserted island? Were they captured? Theories ran wild, from the plausible to the conspiratorial. More than just a lost flight, Earhart's vanishing became symbolic. It represented human ambition meeting the unforgiving unknown. And for nearly 90 years, the question has remained, what really happened to Amelia Earhart? The island that became the key. Roughly 400 miles southeast of Howland Island lies Nikumaroro, once known as Gardner Island. Remote and uninhabited in 1937, it was largely overlooked in the early stages of the search. But over time, it began to attract serious attention. Why? Because strange things started turning up. Fragments of objects from the 1930s, items potentially linked to Earhart, began appearing on Nikumaroro. Pieces of bottles, tools, even what looked like a woman's shoe. These findings led to the theory that Earhart may have landed on the island's reef and survived for some time before disappearing for good. For decades, researchers from private groups conducted expeditions to explore this possibility. Their findings were intriguing but inconclusive. No wreckage, no human remains, just hints, breadcrumbs pointing towards something more. Then came a critical question. If the plane didn't sink in the open ocean, could it have ended up in the shallow waters of the island's lagoon? That possibility kept bringing researchers back. And so, Nikumaroro shifted from a long-shot theory to a serious candidate. The island, once a footnote in the mystery, is now seen by many as the most likely place where Amelia Earhart's final chapter unfolded. The Taraya object breakthrough. For nearly 9 decades, the search for Amelia Earhart's plane has been a story of empty leads and dashed hopes. But everything changed when satellite imagery revealed something unusual, an anomaly in the lagoon of Nikumaroro Island. Dubbed the Taraya object, this mysterious shape stood out. It wasn't just a blur or a shadow. It had form, proportion, and reflectivity, features consistent with the shape and size of the Lockheed Electra that Earhart flew. What made this even more compelling was its location. Not far from the spot where theorists believed the Electra might have landed on a reef before slipping into the lagoon. Incredibly, the same shape also appears in aerial photographs from 1938, just 1 year after Earhart's disappearance, suggesting that this object has remained there, relatively undisturbed, ever since. This wasn't just another theory, it was a potential visual confirmation of a wrecked aircraft beneath the water's surface. In 2025, a team from the Purdue Research Foundation and the Archaeological Legacy Institute announced their plan to investigate the Taraya object in person. They proposed an expedition equipped with underwater sonar, aerial drones, and high-resolution imaging. Their approach was meticulous. Historical photographs would be digitally enhanced. Ocean current simulations would predict debris patterns. Ground and water surveys would triangulate any potential wreckage. Unlike past expeditions, this wasn't based on folklore or rumor. It was based on data, science, and patterns. After 88 years, this anomaly offered something new, the most tangible, concrete lead to date. It shifted the conversation from where could the Electra be to what is that object? And if confirmed, the Taraya object could rewrite history, not just by ending the mystery, but by validating decades of careful research, bringing closure to a century-old quest. The technology that changed the game. In the early days, searching for Amelia Earhart's plane meant flying over vast ocean expanses and hoping to spot a glint of metal or drifting debris. Today, it's a different world. Technology has transformed the hunt. Modern researchers aren't relying on luck. They're using a powerful arsenal: sonar, magnetometers, underwater drones, and satellite imaging that can identify anomalies beneath the ocean's surface, even under layers of sediment and coral. High-resolution remote sensing maps out the seafloor with incredible precision. If a plane lies beneath, its metallic signature can be detected. Even subtle disturbances in coral patterns or underwater topography can offer clues. On land, teams use ground-penetrating radar, infrared imaging, and aerial drones to scour the island for forgotten campsites, buried artifacts, or remnants of survival. These tools help locate items that human eyes might easily miss. Meanwhile, scientists are also analyzing weather data, tide patterns, and historical current flows to model where wreckage might have drifted after a crash. It's part of a broader strategy, combining old records with new methods to close the gaps in Earhart's final flight. This isn't just a search, it's forensic archaeology on a global scale. Most importantly, the search is no longer isolated. Collaborations between universities, research institutes, and independent explorers allow teams to share findings, overlay data, and refine theories with every new expedition. That's what makes this moment feel different. The Taraya object didn't just appear, it was identified through a convergence of technology and historical insight. And the tools used to uncover it represent the cutting edge of what's possible in remote discovery. In the end, this technology does more than search for wreckage. It gives us the power to reach back into time, across oceans and through myths, and maybe finally bring home the truth of what happened to Amelia Earhart. The evidence that builds the case. The Taraya object is more than a vague anomaly. It's a puzzle piece in a nearly 9-decade-long mystery. Its shape, size, and location match that of the Lockheed Electra, giving researchers the most concrete lead yet. But evidence extends beyond satellite imagery. Historical aerial photos from 1938 show a similar form in the same lagoon, suggesting the object has remained in place for decades. On Nikumaroro, explorers have also found intriguing artifacts. Items like 1930s-era bottles, fragments of women's shoes, and other small objects align with the period of Earhart's flight. While these items don't prove a landing, they add weight to the possibility that someone, perhaps Earhart or her belongings, reached the island. Oceanographic research adds another layer. Studies of currents, tides, and reef formation show that debris from a reef landing could settle in the shallow lagoon rather than being swept into the open sea. This scientific modeling complements the physical evidence, creating a scenario that fits both the environment and the historical timeline. Institutions such as Purdue University and the Archaeological Legacy Institute are now planning expeditions to examine the Taraya object directly. The backing of these organizations elevates the theory from speculation to credible research. In essence, the Taraya object combines satellite data, historical photography, artifacts, and oceanography, forming a multifaceted case. Each piece of evidence may not be conclusive on its own, but together they present a compelling argument that Nikumaroro Island could hold the final resting place of the Electra. The big question remains, after 88 years, can the convergence of technology, history, and human persistence finally bring Amelia Earhart's story full circle? The challenges that remain. Even with tantalizing evidence, the search for Earhart's Electra is far from simple. Nikumaroro Island is remote, difficult to reach, and environmentally sensitive expedition planning must account for cyclone seasons, high seas, and unpredictable weather, all of which can delay or limit fieldwork. Natural processes also complicate the hunt. Over nearly 9 decades, sediment deposition, coral growth, and reef shifts may have obscured, buried, or even moved parts of the aircraft, making identification more difficult. What appears in satellite images may not perfectly reflect what lies beneath. Skepticism is another hurdle. Experts caution that the Turaya object could be natural debris, such as coral formations or driftwood accumulations. Definitive identification requires careful excavation and analysis, including serial numbers or manufacturing marks, to confirm the plane's identity. Even if a wreck is found, the story won't immediately end. Questions remain. Did Earhart and Noonan survive after landing? Were distress signals sent? Did currents disperse smaller artifacts or personal items? Each answer could reshape our understanding of the final hours of their flight. Finally, logistical and ethical considerations abound. Excavating the lagoon requires minimizing environmental impact while preserving fragile artifacts. Every dive, scan, and measurement must be precise. Mistakes could destroy clues permanently. The challenge, then, is not just to find a plane, but to uncover history responsibly. It requires patience, interdisciplinary collaboration, and a willingness to confront uncertainty. The search is a delicate balance between technology, human ingenuity, and respect for the past, a reminder that some mysteries demand both persistence and care. What finding the plane would reveal. Discovering Amelia Earhart's Electra would do more than solve a decades-old mystery. It would unlock layers of technical, historical, and human insight. The aircraft itself is a time capsule. Studying its modifications, including extra fuel tanks and specialized navigation equipment, could reveal how Earhart prepared for the world's circumnavigation flight and how early aviation technology adapted to extreme long-distance challenges. Beyond engineering, the wreckage could shed light on the final hours of the flight. Scratches, dents, or stress marks on the fuselage and wings may indicate whether the plane landed gently on a reef or endured a harsher impact. Even fragments of the cockpit could hint at how Earhart and Noonan managed the instruments during the critical moments, providing clues to decisions made in real time. Artifacts associated with Earhart, such as personal items or remnants of gear, would humanize the story. These tangible connections allow us to see her not as a distant legend, but as a person facing extreme risk and uncertainty. Moreover, the discovery would illustrate the power of interdisciplinary research. Combining archaeology, oceanography, historical analysis, and satellite imaging shows how modern science can revisit historical mysteries with precision. It would provide a model for solving other cold cases in aviation or maritime history. Finally, recovering the Electra would cement Earhart's legacy as a pioneer. She would be remembered not just for her daring achievements, but also for inspiring generations of explorers and scientists. Finding the plane would close one chapter of her story while emphasizing the endurance of human curiosity and ingenuity across decades. The broader implications for aviation history. The potential discovery of Earhart's plane carries significance beyond a single historical event. It would remind us of the risks and challenges of early aviation, from navigation limitations to the uncertainty of remote island landings. Every recovered detail, damage patterns, wear on controls, or navigational notes would offer insight into the hazards pilots faced in the 1930s. It also underscores the importance of preserving aviation heritage. Sites like Nikumaroro, often overlooked or inaccessible, hold lessons for future generations. The expedition highlights how modern technology, sonar, drones, satellite imagery, combined with historical records can solve mysteries thought impossible to approach. The case sets a precedent for interdisciplinary collaboration in aviation archaeology, demonstrating how universities, research institutes, and independent explorers can work together to verify long-standing historical claims. In a broader cultural sense, it reconnects us with a heroic narrative of human ambition. Earhart's story has captivated generations, and locating the Electra would transform legend into verified history. It would allow historians to piece together her journey, giving a clearer picture of her flight and its final moments. Finally, the discovery serves as a reminder that technology can extend human understanding across decades. It shows that no mystery is necessarily permanent, that patience, persistence, and innovation can converge to reveal truths long hidden beneath oceans, reefs, and sand. The suspense continues, what we don't yet know. Even if the Taraya object proves to be the Electra, questions about Earhart's final flight remain. The human story is still uncertain. Did Amelia and Fred Noonan survive temporarily on the reef? Were there attempts to send distress signals or leave markers for rescuers? The evidence is fragmentary, leaving space for speculation. The exact location of the plane is also unknown. Could it have come to rest on the reef itself, in the shallow lagoon, or partially submerged? The modeling of ocean currents, storms, and tides helps narrow possibilities, but nature has a way of obscuring the past. Even if wreckage is recovered, identification challenges persist. Serial numbers, manufacturing marks, and historical validation are crucial for confirming that it truly is Earhart's Electra. This uncertainty extends to the artifacts found on Nikumaroro. Are they personal effects of Earhart, remnants left by castaways, or unrelated debris? Every clue must be carefully analyzed. After nearly 9 decades, this suspense is both historical and emotional. Humanity has waited generations to close this chapter. Yet each expedition brings the possibility of answering questions long thought unanswerable, while reminding us that some mysteries may always leave room for wonder. The final moment, a mystery nears its end. After 88 years, the search for Amelia Earhart's Electra may be approaching a breakthrough. The Taraya object has shifted the mystery from speculation to possibility, suggesting that the plane may finally be found in Nikumaroro's shallow lagoon. The implications extend beyond aviation. Recovering the aircraft would offer technical insights into early aviation, demonstrating the modifications, wear, and damage patterns that shaped her final flight. It would provide a direct connection to the human story, giving tangible form to Earhart's courage, decision-making, and ingenuity. For historians, archaeologists, and aviation enthusiasts, this is a case study in the power of modern technology and meticulous research. Sonar, drones, satellite imaging, and ocean modeling converge to solve a mystery nearly a century old. Culturally, the potential discovery revitalizes Earhart's legacy. Her journey, long enshrined in legend, could be finally documented with physical evidence, bridging the gap between myth and reality. The suspense is no longer only did they find it, but what will we learn when we do? After decades of speculation, the world waits on the edge of history, ready to witness the conclusion of one of the 20th century's greatest aviation mysteries. The search for Amelia Earhart's plane is more than a quest for metal and debris. It's a journey into history, courage, and human curiosity. If the Electra is found, it will reveal technical insights, personal artifacts, and the story of her final hours. It's a triumph of modern technology, historical research, and persistence over decades of uncertainty. The mystery that has haunted generations may finally reach closure, offering both historical clarity and emotional resolution. And as the world awaits confirmation, the discovery reminds us, some legends are not just remembered, they endure, and some truths are worth the wait.